Hi everyone and welcome to the Agile IT Tech YouTube channel. My name is Ali Afshar. I will be your guide today as we will be discussing elicitation techniques in the analysis phase. The analysis phase is the most important and most crucial phase for a business analyst. Here, the business analyst is being asked to go ahead and elicit or extract the business requirements from the business stakeholders, such as a project sponsor, such as a business stakeholder, such as a subject matter expert, or a client manager. To do this, the business analyst must use requirement gathering techniques, or what we commonly refer to as elicitation techniques. The very first elicitation technique that we will be talking about today is the most common, which is conducting interviews. Interviews are the most common elicitation technique. Interviews need to be a two-way exchange of information between your business stakeholder and you, the business analyst. The interview has to be conducted and the time and place for the interview has to be pre-agreed upon between you and the SME or business stakeholder. The second elicitation technique that we want to talk about today is a JAD session. JAD stands for Joint Application Development. These are highly structured workshops that can last anywhere between 1 day to 5 days. The JAD is conducted by having multiple stakeholders, which can be representing both the business side as well as the technology side. You may have folks such as a project manager, a product sponsor, a client manager, your SMEs, tech leads, architects, and even key folks like observers who are there to observe the JAD session. The purpose of the JAD session is basically to get all of these key stakeholders together and quickly come up to a understanding on the requirements or the planning, and then to produce high quality documents resulting from these JAD sessions. The third elicitation technique that we want to talk about is modeling. Models are created from first understanding and gathering the requirements and then converting these requirements into models, which we commonly refer to as UML, Unified Modeling Language. So we use these models to create a baseline between the business side and the technology side, and these models serve as a basic foundation to ensure that both parties clearly understand what is being asked and the solutions that are being given to address those asks or needs. The fourth technique we want to talk about is called shadowing or assisting the user. Which user are we talking about here? Of course, our business stakeholder. So in shadowing, we would basically go ahead and we would spend some time with the business analyst and the SME at the work of the SME. So say if you were gathering the requirements from a loan officer, you would go and you would spend some time with the loan officer processing his loan. And you would try both parties clearly understand what is being asked and the solutions that are being given to address those asks or needs. The fourth technique we want to talk about is called shadowing or assisting the user. Which user are we talking about here? Of course, our business stakeholder. So in shadowing, we would basically go ahead and we would spend some time with the business analyst and the SME at the work of the SME. So say if you were gathering the requirements from a loan officer, you would go and you would spend some time with the loan officer processing his loan. And you would try to gather the requirements at the time of the loan officer processing that loan. You may also be able to conduct interviews while you are shadowing the loan officer. The fifth method that we want to talk about today is brainstorming. Everybody is aware of brainstorming. Anybody that has gone through college has used brainstorming. Brainstorming basically is bringing multiple folks from various backgrounds and discussing ideas and topics with the team, and then trying to come up with the most logical road and going ahead and implementing that particular feature or that particular functionality as the output of brainstorming. Of course, brainstorming is most utilized in the JAD session, since we have the most variety of individuals attending a JAD, Joint Application Development session. The sixth technique that we want to talk about for elicitation is market surveys. Market surveys is most ideal to use when your business stakeholders are far apart and not all co-located in the common place. We basically create a market survey which consists of all the questions that we would like to ask our business stakeholders, our SMEs, subject matter experts, and then send these market surveys to our stakeholders so that they can go ahead and address these questions. And when we get the responses back from these SMEs, then we would go ahead and we would conduct what we call a comparative analysis on the responses that are being received from various subject matter experts. And finally, the last technique is prototyping. Prototyping means creating visual representations or UI for a proposed requirement. For example, you may be given some requirements for developing a login module. We start off by creating a mock-up of what could be the possible look and feel of this login module. And from there, we would go ahead and we would convert the wireframe into a mock-up. And then later on, the UI designers would take our mock-ups created by a business analyst and convert them into UI design. I hope you enjoyed this session on requirement gathering technique. Once again, thank you so very much for watching Agile IT Tech's YouTube channel.